What's going on YouTube? N3RD Reviews here with another collectible action figure review for you guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Neca 1985 Godzilla. Here the figure is in packaging. This is the same packaging as the last Godzilla, so we're not going to spend too much time on it, but here it is, same background and everything. The bottom just says 1985 Godzilla. Spin around to the back. Image of the figure looking pretty good, pretty nice. Coming down to the bottom, Godzilla, Neca, nothing else new. Alright, so let's get this guy out of packaging and have a closer look at it. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we have Godzilla outside of the packaging, and this is a very, very nice piece. Originally in the packaging when I got it, I assumed it was just a reuse of this mold, but side by side you can already tell that these are two completely different molds. So far I can't find any molds, any part of the figures that they reuse. The spikes are completely different, the tails are different, the heads are different, arms are different, the scaling's different on each figure, so looks like Neca gave us two unique molds on these, which is really nice. Get this one out of the way really quick. Alright, back to the 85 Godzilla. This is based off of the like I said, the movie that was released 30 years after the original Godzilla. I think it was only released in Japan, and it's titled like The Return of Godzilla or Godzilla Returns, something like that with the translation. So I don't think I've ever seen this entire movie. I've seen like bits of it, but I don't think I've seen the whole film. Definitely haven't seen it in English. I don't know if it's ever been released in English or not, but yeah, still a nice piece to own whether you've seen the film or not. It's a really nice Godzilla. Have a quick look at this head sculpt. This is the redone head sculpt. The one that was originally shown at Comic-Con this year was very small. They have some images of that online you guys can check out. They said they redid the head sculpt and they redid the paint, and it was all due to fan feedback, which is pretty cool. See how powerful your voice can be on the internet. So yeah, it turned out to be a really nice figure. I'm glad they took their time. I think it was supposed to release in October, ended up coming out in November, so I'm glad they took their time with this guy. And he looks really good. You can see the tail. As the other 12-inch Godzillas, it snaps in the back right here, and the last bit is a bendy wire. Try to do this without popping it off, so you can straighten it out or whatever. However you like to display it. The spikes on this figure are a lot smaller than the other two Godzillas. Well, at least a lot smaller than the 94 Godzilla, the figure from Neca. Still the same soft rubber, pliable, so you don't have to worry about them breaking. They're a little thicker on the tail, but they're smaller, so they're less likely to get snagged than anything. I like the dark color they use for this thing. It still has that shiny tone on the legs. It's a little less shiny in the chest, but overall really nice. The paint came out really nice in this figure. I actually had to pick through a few, if I can focus in, because a lot of them had red paint right here on the cheeks. About 4 of them I went to had red paint, so I ended up with this one. It seemed to have the most decent looking eyes and didn't have the splotch on that, so if you're ordering online, that's something to look out for. The Toys R Us I went to, a bunch of them had red paint on the cheeks, but overall the paint turned out really well. And this one has really heavy brows on this figure. When you look at it from an angle, you can barely see the eyes. As you can see, they're really pronounced. Yeah, very, very unique looking Godzilla figure with a very short snout, as you can tell. But yeah, let's get into the articulation. Alright, so articulation is pretty much identical to the previous releases from Neca. Head can rotate up about that far, down about that far. It can swivel at the base of the neck, as well as the base of the head. It can swivel. The jaw's articulated. A lot more smooth on this figure than the original 2014 Neca Godzilla. There's a rotation at the waist. Very slight ab crunch. As you can see, the spikes run into each other, but they're soft, so it doesn't damage anything. Arms can rotate up about that far. Rotate full 360. There's a swivel at the elbow, as well as a slight bend at the elbow. Not very much though. I noticed that joint was the stiffest one out of the box, was the elbow joint. You see, like at the wrist, there's looks like a ball joint. Down to the thigh area, there's a 360 swivel. the leg. The knees can swivel. Doesn't seem like they can bend on this figure, however. The feet have a full 360 swivel, as well as the up and down rotation. The tail is exactly the same. There's 3 separate pieces right here, all of which can swivel. And then there's actually there's 4 pieces at the tail. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is connected on the ball that you do on the package, and the bendy wires I pointed out earlier in the review. So yeah, fairly well articulated figure, and I really like how this one turned out detail-wise. Alright, so let's look at some size comparisons. Here he is, the 1985 Godzilla next to the 1994 Godzilla by Neca. The 85 appears to be a tad bit shorter. I'm trying to get their necks up all the way. Yeah, the 85 is a tad bit shorter, but you can see the head is a lot larger. So yeah, there's those two side by side. So you can tell that they're not using just the same mold on both figures. Get that one out of the way. Here he is next to the 2014 Neca Godzilla. You can see the head is way bigger than this figure. A lot of people pointed out that the 2014 Neca Godzilla's head was too small. You can see the side by side with those. So there's the 2014 and the 1985 Godzilla. Get that one out of the way. Let's bring in the SH Monster Arts Godzilla from Comic-Con Explosion Godzilla. Their bodies are about the same size, but again, the head on the 85 is just larger. This one also has a very small tail, especially in comparison to that one. That one has about 3 inches longer of a tail. Let's get that one out of the way. Alright, and a quick size comparison for those of you who don't have any other Godzilla figures in your collection. Here he is next to a 6-inch Hasbro Stormtrooper figure. You see those are about the same size, almost exact. And here he is next to the NECA 8-inch Predator. He's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches smaller than that. So yeah, there's a scaling on that if you don't have any other Godzilla figures to compare him to. Alright, so there's my review of the NECA 1985 Godzilla. See, I have him standing in front of the 2 other 12-inch Godzillas released by NECA so far, 2014 and the 1994. I believe this one might be my favorite, at least my favorite head sculpt so far. I really like how it turned out. But yeah, you guys can pick this up. I got mine at Toys R Us for about 18 bucks. You can get it online right now. But it's a great figure. If you're a big Godzilla fan, I say get it. If you're not, you might be more interested in the 94, because I think this sculpt appeared in more films than this one. But yeah, it looks really good. If you just want to get one figure, I like this one either way. He's a different looking Godzilla. He has a shorter snout, but overall I think it's a really nice piece. But yeah, this is N3RD Reviews. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, rate, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more figure reviews. Thanks, guys.